Starting the museum is an interesting thing. I never planned to start the museum. Since the 60s, I got to know everybody coming to America. When they came to America, they brought their arts here, and I got to meet almost everybody. And in the process, I started writing for the magazines and started making books. And I said, if we don't have something to keep our history alive, everything we've done will be forgotten. So I thought it'd be a nice idea to do a museum. But I didn't know anything about museums, so I went back to school after I already finished my bachelor's degree. I went back to school for another 8 years to learn how to do a museum and do a business and do all that. And after I finished that, I took the museum as a traveling exhibit all over the place, and then people liked it. We were going to go forward with the museum, and they did. So we went forward with the museum, started in 1999, and this is now our 26th year. One of the goals, though, of the museum is to talk about Asian art, Asian music, Asian culture, Asian history, and how it connects with the martial arts. And that's something that even though people do a martial art, they don't know where it came from, how it was so important in each country. And I thought that was something that was very important to me. So I thought I would share that through the museum. The martial arts is very popular in the youth today. They have karate moms and all that. 1 out of every 3 people know someone who's done martial arts or has done martial arts in their lifetime. And especially the youth today, I think everybody should do martial arts, period. That'll put an end to bullying and everything else. And I think this museum serves as a bridge, a gap between other races so people can learn about each other. The more we learn about each other and the more we learn what our culture is, the less barriers we'll have against each other. And that way we can fight racism and prejudice. So I think kids will learn about China, learn about Japan, learn about Korea, learn about the different countries and how they're not so different overall. And we practice a martial art is from Korea or Japan or China, and how much we really have in common. One of the things that the museum also gives is inspiration. People get inspired here. People who learn martial arts say, hey, that guy did it, or that girl did it, or that person did it, I can do it too. So I think it's a place of inspiration. There are a lot of different weapons of warfare, but probably one of the most popular one is the samurai sword, period. No matter what you see in movies galore and all that. But there's more of the samurai sword than just the weapon itself. They said years ago that the samurai needed to blend themselves, the yin and the yang, had the hard and soft. So a lot of the samurai became poets and actors and artists and, different things, singers and all that. And so that way they can be more flowing with the sword. So I think it's important that Musashi has been part of the museum, helped us grow, helped people learn about these swords. Again, they're the most popular sword there is. And that way people can learn about the artistry of the sword, the tsuba, the design work and how it was made. So Musashi collection has really been a big part of the museum, helping us to promote it to other people, helping us to educate people about the beauty and the culture of the samurai and the samurai sword. There's more to it than people realize. And I think that Musashi has played a big role in that. I think we need this museum because without this museum, all that history is going to be lost forever. Everything will be gone. There will be nothing left to remember, nothing to record. Everybody will lose sight of it. And that's why I think it's important that we have a museum. And I appreciate the support Musashi has given us to help us move forward. And so I think it's so important that we have something that people can look at. One of the fighters said, I want my kids, my great-great-grandkids to know what their great-great-grandfather did in history. So my thought is 200, 300 years from now, that people can look back and see what these pioneers did, that people did to sacrifice so much coming from China and Japan and more, that they sacrificed everything to come to America to spread their art here, and that way people can learn and appreciate it. Greetings, everybody. This is Michael Matsuda, President and Founder of the Martial Arts History Museum, the world's first and only museum dedicated to the arts. I hope you'll come by the museum. It's a wonderful, large place. Kids will enjoy it. Everything was designed in Disney style as a former Disney artist myself. So they'll get a nice education and they'll have a lot of fun learning about ninjas and Pokemon and samurai and all that cool stuff. So I invite the family and all the people to make field trips here to the Martial Arts History Museum. I know you're going to love it.